Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Nicholas Richardson and this is the news. The government's new strategy to fight the coronavirus pandemic was presented today by Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki. The Prime Minister said that the government will intensify efforts to stop the spread of the virus.
Narodowy program szczepień zapewnia.
The national vaccination program ensures that coronavirus vaccines will be free of charge and voluntary, and we will make sure that they will be available for those who are at their homes and cannot leave them for health reasons, especially the elderly and the disabled. First, we wish to protect the weakest citizens.
Dla osób starszych, dla osób niepełnosprawnych to
Whether we will be able to take control over the pandemic in 2021, which is our goal, depends on all of us. The more people decide to vaccinate, the more people will be immune, we will be able to go back to normal life, and our economy will start to function the same way again. Thanks to the Prime Minister's intervention at the European Council, the sitting of the Commission, which is responsible for the distribution of vaccines in the European market, will take place earlier. What does this mean? It means that the first doses of the coronavirus vaccine may appear on Polish market this year. Of course, as long as the producer is able to manage the logistic chain efficiently and delivers them to the Polish market.
The vaccination process has begun in the United States. The first person received the coronavirus vaccine yesterday. Our correspondent, Małgorzata Schulz, has more.
Poniedziałek był w USA przełomowym dniem w walce z...
Monday was a turning point for the United States in the fight against the coronavirus pandemic. On that day, the first person in the country, Sandra Lindsay, a nurse from New York and the head of the intensive care unit, received the coronavirus vaccine. A few hours after receiving it, in an interview for BBC News, Lindsay said that she felt great and was suffering from no side effects. The coronavirus vaccine was sent to all 50 states, where the governors will now pass them on to 153 other places of vaccination. For now, only healthcare workers are receiving the coronavirus vaccine. The rest of the country will have to wait for vaccines until the spring. The Pfizer vaccine has not yet been approved by the American Food and Drug Administration, who has issued an approval for its distribution only if necessary. The vaccine developed by Moderna is waiting for the approval as well. The distribution of the Moderna vaccine will be much easier, as the vaccine needs to be stored at temperatures below -20°C, while the Pfizer vaccine needs to be stored at -70°C. In order to be effective, both vaccines require to be given in 2 doses.
Z Los Angeles dla Telewizji Republika Małgorzata Schulz.
And now for some worrying news for those wanting to travel to the United Kingdom. A new strain of the coronavirus has been identified in southeast England. But there is as yet no clear evidence whether this new variant is able to transmit more easily, cause more serious symptoms, or render the current vaccine ineffective.
Although a mass vaccination program has already started in the UK in the past week, the mood of the country's residents has been dampened by a new strain of the virus. The World Health Organization has already confirmed the mutation of the pathogen.
Symptoms things. So far, there is no evidence that the symptoms are any worse or different from other variants of this coronavirus. And there are many variants.
This genetic variant, I think, reported in about 1,000 individuals in England, and the authorities in the UK and under Matt Hancock's leadership obviously are looking at the significance of this. We've seen many variants, as we've always said here. This virus evolves and changes over time, and we've seen different variants.
Following the detection of a new mutation of coronavirus in England, the British Minister of Health, Matt Hancock, has announced that stricter restrictions will be introduced throughout the country. Bars and restaurants will be closed, restrictions on meetings will be tightened. The British people are divided on this issue.
I think it's a good idea. It seems really crowded, and I think it's a bit crazy for it not to be tier 3.
It's crap. Because I've got 2 hospitality businesses close by, and basically I'm going to have to close both of them.
Italians are of a similar opinion. In front of the parliament in Rome, restaurateurs organized a protest against the government for maintaining a partial lockdown across the whole country. According to the regulation, all restaurants must be closed at 6 p.m, but Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte has already announced that these strict regulations are to be extended for the holiday period to avoid a third wave of infection. None of us are questioning the state of the health threat, and we are not questioning the existence of COVID-19. COVID-19. We are here because apart from the health crisis, there will soon be an economic crisis to follow. We just want to work. We came to Rome to show that we just want to work safely.
Siamo venuti qui dall'Emilia Romagna.
This is not the first time we have met here to send a message to the government. We are a sector that has been forgotten. We have many problems, but they don't listen to us because we usually work at night. The government blames us and forgets about us. We are here to get the money that Prime Minister Conte promised us. He said that in December our restaurants will be overcrowded and the bank accounts will be full of money. But as usual, he has not kept his promises. So we are here to tell him that he is a liar.
Infatti stiamo dicendo che è un bugiardo.
According to Italian media, the government can decide on restrictions from December 24th to at least January 2nd, slowing down domestic traffic and completely closing down some stores, bars and restaurants at weekends and during holidays.
Zbigniew Stonoga, an outspoken critic of the ruling Law and Justice Party, must leave Norway. A European arrest warrant was issued for Stonoga. He was not granted asylum as, in his own words, Norway understands Polish courts to be independent and Poland to be a democratic state under the rule of law.
Prosecutorial proceedings are being conducted against Zbigniew Stonoga, in which the businessman is suspected of fraudulent activity by his charity. In one of the cases, the court ruled on temporary arrest. As pointed out by Mr. Stonoga himself in a Facebook post, 2 Nobel Peace Prize winners were allegedly meant to vouch for him during the trial. Internet users advised him to flee to the Netherlands, but, as he said, he does not speak the language and therefore that would not be a suitable destination. The entry itself and the comments were, however, removed very quickly. In return, Stonoga published a post in which he appealed for readers to share it in order to grab the attention of the Norwegian media.
That's the news. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for the weather, Poland Daily Business and more programmes. But from me, it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.